Richard Chu, and I want to go back to the space utilization and financial modeling. It appears from looking at the report that the space planning is based on an assumption that the capture rate is about 50% Reston, 50% non-Reston. Yet your modeling is 90% usage by Reston. So in essence, we've sized the facility to handle a population of which only 50% is Reston. But we have modeled based on 90% being Reston. So I understand the different approaches, but I'm wondering why we didn't plan on space based on a capture of 90% using the Reston as the primary factor.
And I think that you're getting part of that from the draft, and we looked at that and understand that there was.
I'm looking at the final report.
Okay, but you're looking at the demand models that are showing where the demand is coming from, and the 4 users is showing a certain number, and it's 50%. It's showing the number for inside Reston, and then it's showing if we only assume 10% of other markets, how large would that market be, and it happened to be roughly another 50%. That's just showing that, but that's not directly how we translate it into demand.
Can you translate what you just said into English? I totally understood what you just said. Say it again.
Sure.
Explain to me.
Okay, I think you're referring to this being a roughly 50-50 split. Yes, this is our just illustrating where the demand is, and we're saying if we only rely on a 10% non-resident market, this is how much depth there is to the demand. It means that from a modeling standpoint, and from a financial projection standpoint, saying if you want to get only 10% of your use coming from that market, you've got many, you've got a very deep market from which to draw from, which is the point of it. This is not suggesting that we assume that we're sizing the facility to capture all of these people. So you're taking 2 separate data points and you're assuming that they came together to help a recommendation. So maybe that's a mistake from us that we didn't make it real clear with how we were using these numbers, but that's what the disconnect is. Does that make sense to you?
No. I actually do understand what you're saying, but the total square foot demand of 16,000 square feet, right? Okay, so when you did your sizing of the facility, are you using 16,163?
No, we're using about half that.
This is just academic information.
Exactly. We do not even come close to, looking at the multi-purpose rooms. We're less than that square footage for those spaces. Yeah, it's more of just showing what the potential is overall, but we're not building the program based on those demand numbers. We're building the program based on Reston demographics, input from this group, input from all these groups, and what we heard, and trying our best to quantify what that looks like. We are not building our program based on a facility that's regional. We're basing it on really focusing on the Reston market, but giving you the data to suggest that there's going to be additional pressure placed on a facility like this because of the amenities being offered and what's currently available in the market and what the amount of growth is taking place in the region.
But that pressure is going to come from non-Reston market.
Yeah, but for example, as we go through this public process, can you hear me? Because it sounds loud to me up here. I just want to double check. Can you hear me? Am I good? Okay. Let's say that as it goes through the public process, someone says, it really would be nice Reston residents could get access to the facility for even lower rates. How could we achieve that? Well, we would say, well, we could change the ratio of the percentage of non-Reston residents we would allow in the facility. They're coming in at higher rates. That would lower the cost required for Reston residents. So this is information that we can go to and say, okay, we know we've got a deep market that's within a reasonable radius, so we can capture them. And so we have the information from which we can do that kind of analysis. But the recommendations that we've made have not assumed a 50-50 split in terms of who's actually accessing the facility. But we've got the ability to model a vast number of scenarios to be considered.
Okay. I think the follow-up then is, has the facility been right-sized based on 90% Reston usage and 10% non-Reston usage?
Yes, we believe so. That was our intent.